And we are extremely grateful to have such an audience with us that made a conscious decision to gather here and to stand against racism, to stand against poverty, to stand against whatever is not allowing us to see ourselves as complete human beings. We're here to stand against oppression towards our Black, Indigenous, and people of color citizens, and to evoke positive change in our cities, workplaces, and various forms of communities that are the cornerstones of our society. As mentioned, my name is Alden Darville, and I'm grateful to be part of this committee and this movement. Currently, as the Director of Recruitment at Eurocentres Atlantic Canada, I do have the privilege to work directly with newcomers and immigrants on the South Shore of Nova Scotia. We also teach English to international students from all over the globe, many of which go to university in Nova Scotia, and to a smaller extent, will eventually make our beautiful province, or certainly Canada, their permanent home. I feel extremely blessed to have the job that I have. And as Pat mentioned, I am also the proud son of a Mi'kmaq mother and a Bahamian father. So, one of the most important tenets of the North American Native culture teachings is that of the 7 generations. The 7th generation principle taught by Native North Americans states that every decision that is made, be it personal, governmental, or corporate, must consider how it will affect our descendants 7 generations into the future. Simply put, what we do today, what can we do today that can make meaningful and sustainable change for our grandchildren? And in the Native culture, when we speak of our grandchildren, we really mean the future. Mountains of policy has already been written, and nothing really on a global scale has really changed. Yes, there's been outrage. Protests have come and gone. And yes, micro advances have been made. It is not enough. We need real change. And we need to move past just preaching policy and accelerate action. Action is what we need, and action will provide the bite to policy. And I've said, there have been wonderful initiatives concerning policy, but with little sustained impact. Without action, the words are meaningless. So how did we get here? We got here because of our failure to grow and for our failure to evolve. As Canadians, we are heavily influenced by the American media machine. And whether we choose to believe it or not, a large portion of us is influenced by the hyper newsfeed continually blasting us 24/7 south of the border. We are here because of George Floyd, just as Mayor Mitchell said. We are here because of our Indigenous women are being murdered and have gone missing in Canada. And yes, right here in Nova Scotia. We are here because of Rodney King and Emmett Till. We are here because of the marches on Washington and Selma in the 1960s. And we are here because of Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. We are here because Elizabeth Eckford, who ignored the hostile screams and stares of fellow students on their first day of school back on September 6, 1957. She was one of 9 Black students whose integration into the Little Rock Central High School was ordered by a federal court ruling following legal action by the NAACP. These are but a few of the historical examples of why we continue to be here at this point. We are here because someone of color refused to move to the back of the bus. Sorry, apologies. And we are here because of Viola Desmond, a Nova Scotia businesswoman who, in 1946, dared to challenge racial segregation in a cinema in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia, by refusing to leave a whites-only area of the Roseland Theatre. For this, she was convicted of a minor tax violation of a 1 cent tax difference between the seat that she paid for and the seat that she used, which was more expensive. This token penalty, and yes, I use the word token, a few pennies, is a glaring example of what we know today as systemic racism. And this is one of the reasons why we are here today. Our systems are broken and we need to fix them now, today, in the present, so that grandchildren can have a better life. In 2018, I became a father for the very first time. And I'm quite certain, I don't need to tell any parents listening here today, that becoming a parent is a life-altering event. It changes you. It alters your DNA, or at the very least, it allows you to find true meaning in what we were all supposed to do as parents. Being a parent teaches you tolerance, patience, and most importantly, accountable actions that you must pass on to your family. These young minds will look to you for answers and guidance. They will observe your actions and beliefs and carry those ideals, your ideals, into the future, into the next generations. That alone is a huge responsibility, and one we all need to visualize and to actualize. I want to now read a little poem by Dorothy Nolte. Many of you may know this poem, but I think it's very relevant today in what we need to do. If children live with criticism, they learn to condemn. If children live with hostility, they learn to fight. If children live with ridicule, they learn to be shy. If children live with shame, they learn to feel guilty. If children live with encouragement, they learn confidence. If children live with tolerance, they learn to be patient. If children live with praise, they learn to appreciate. If children live with acceptance, they learn to love. If children live with approval, they learn to like themselves. If they live with truthfulness, the children will live in security. They learn to have faith in themselves and in others. If children live in friendliness, they learn the world is a nice place in which to live. We can all choose greatness over mediocrity, choose love over divisiveness, or hate, if that's a word that resonates with you. Let your children have the benefit of acceptance, honesty, and the gift of faith in themselves and in others. Let's give children the freedom to accept someone that speaks another language, someone has a different hue, or someone who chooses to pray differently than you do. This is how our children can make a positive change in the next 7 generations. We are all one. Thank you for your time.